All right. So let's move on to some huge news here in the state of Florida, where I happen to live. Good news, bad news kind of thing. But that's how the story reads here. Abortion rights will be on the Florida ballots in November. But before that, a ban on the procedure after 6 weeks will take effect. The ballot effort cleared Florida's conservative Supreme Court on Monday, and advocates are one step closer to enshrining access to the procedure until fetal viability in the state's constitution. The court also decided against halting the state's 15-week abortion ban, which clears a way for a statewide ban on most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy to take into effect. Abortion rights have won, by the way, in every single state they have been on the ballot. That includes Kentucky, that includes Alabama, that includes a lot of the Kansas, I believe, a lot of the red states. That is a slam dunk victory for anything that's been on the ballots. Abortion rights supporters began collecting signatures for the ballot effort nearly a year ago, a month after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a 6-week ban. They hit the signature threshold needed to trigger a state Supreme Court review of the ballot question in September and gathered enough to make the ballot in January. So that's a really, really, really big deal for quite a few reasons. One, because of women's and abortion rights, and the fact that the voters are going to be able to vote on it here in the state of Florida, which is now a red state, but not as red as the Kentuckys and the Kansas and the Alabamas. Big deal. What do you think, Lana?
It is a big deal, and Democrats are kind of smelling, some purple in the water in Florida. Will it flip, anytime soon? Maybe not, but we may get really close here.
That is the other reason why it's a big deal. And I think you're right. Will it flip Florida? I think the problem is that, you had so many people from California, you had so many people move out of their states to move to Florida. And a lot of those people were Republicans. So the state went from having more registered Democrats to now more registered Republicans by almost 1 million. It's like 800,000 more registered Republicans, which obviously makes for a very, very difficult way to win the state. But if you're going to do it, abortion rights on the ballot is going to bring out people who had absolutely no plans on voting. These are mothers who are going to make their 18-year-old daughters go out and vote, 19, 20-year-old daughters that probably would have never gone to the voting booth. There's also one other measure to be voted on here in the state of Florida that may bring out quite a few people, and that is recreational marijuana. And when you couple recreational marijuana and abortion rights,
people may come out. Well, they do say there's a growing voting bloc that is pro-choice, and it's white men, older white men, not young white men, but the older white men are now, well, probably they've been saying, but that's a bridge too far for older white men. They see that as you taking someone's choice away. Like, they don't like that.
It's constitutional to them.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, wait a minute, I don't agree with it, but you can't tell them what to do with their bodies.
But gosh, you would think that, younger men too would be interested.
Not younger white men.
Yeah. Well,
you would think. Because if they get on the hook, they're going to have to pay child support. Like, they're not thinking properly, because if they have an oopsies and no one can afford it, that means you will have to pay child support.
Yeah. Well, I know some white guys in my life that have had abortion. Well, they haven't had the abortion, but the woman they've gotten pregnant haven't had abortions. And, I don't know. Again, nationally, there's still this idea that Republicans think this is a 50-50 issue. And I don't understand how it's not clear to them that it's not.
I don't. Are they not watching just TV? Like, where are you right now? How is that 50-50?
I think it's possible that they live in this bubble where they're all together and they all convince each other that they're right, and that so many people that they're around tell them they're right. So they get this feeling that that is the national feeling, and that's what everybody is feeling. Why they don't look at the actual statistics, voting statistics, and what happens every time this is on a ballot. I'm glad they're not.
They have me too. But they have to know, like they have to know that is that Mary Lands? I forget her name in Alabama. Just took
Yes.
that Alabama state Senate seat. Like you had to have known that, and she ran on the issue.
Lana, not only did she won by 20. She won in a district that Trump won big.
But what, 9 points or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she won by 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something like that. She won big. I know she won big, but again, I know they're trying. Some Republicans are trying to change their language on this, but I think they're going to have a very difficult time convincing people, because you had a lot of. I mean, you could go back to the clips of them interviewing the Supreme Court justices about abortion, and none of them would commit, or none of them would say that they would not make it a national ban. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do that. They did that. They acknowledged that Roe versus Wade was the law of the land. And then, of course, when they get in, they said, "Oh, it didn't even matter what I said in those hearings. We're just going to do whatever we feel." And, I said earlier, we're having a war on intelligence, in this country. And I still think that is the case. But I also do believe that there are a lot of people who are paying attention to this. And if it takes just this issue to save democracy, I'm quite fine with that. And by the way, if Florida does flip to Joe Biden's favor, that's ball game. It's over. There's no chance literally no chance Donald Trump can win. None.
Right. They should treat it like it's in play. Somebody had said to me, I had did a tweet supporting, oh my God, I can't even remember. The guy who's running against Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes.
His name escapes me.
Yep.
But
I know.
Yeah, the guy.
Flowers? Is it Marcus Flower? No, he did.
No,
He was
no,
last time. Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah.
I want to say Harris. I'm not sure. Anyway, so someone replied like, yeah, I donated money to him, which I don't believe, but he's like, I donated money to him, but wouldn't it be better if we put our support behind Biden and Harris? And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, what? We could chew gum and walk and do all of these things. Like, it's not just one election. Like, we have to support all of these people. No seat should we be like, never mind, especially that one, right? Because you never know. Yeah, it's a red district, but Marjorie does some stupid things. Like, and this guy is a veteran. You know what I mean? Like, a football. No, he's not the football player.
No, that's the one in Texas.
Right, that's the one.
Yeah, and
he has a good chance too, right? Like, so you never know. Like,
I know what you're saying, and I think the strategy, I think maybe what he's trying to say too, which unfortunately has some truth to it, is that you're almost sending money to a place where there appears to be zero chance. And you're right, you never want to give up, but that district is so, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a hero to them in that. I mean, she's running the Republican Party, and to see that district.
We have to keep hitting. We have to keep chipping. We have to keep chipping and chipping and chipping. That's what you do, because I can't even imagine like, we just ignore that. Like, so we don't support our Democrat that's running. So we just like, you're not going to win. So we don't send them money. Like, that doesn't, so why don't we just give it a seat? What's the point of?
No, you're right. I mean,
against her.
You're right. And I think, there's only so, and believe it or not, and this is the only thing I've gotten from, listening to people about, where these donations go and how the money is spent, is that, you only have so many places. I mean, let's face it, there's only like 7 fucking states that matter, which is really a shame, where this money goes. And I think,
Well, I mean, that's the DNC money. I'm talking about, you can send money straight to his campaign.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Because that's what I was quote tweeting and trying to get, people to send money to his campaign, not necessarily to the DNC, because that's the problem. We know that the DNC is like,
Well, no question.
that's right. So that's a waste. We can't really do that. But we people can support, people like him, because he needs the support. We have to do it. We can't let Marjorie, even if she's going to win, can't let her win easily. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, like I said, first of all, I would encourage anybody to donate money to any candidate that's running, especially against a Marjorie Taylor Greene. But as far as donations are concerned, the Democrats right now and Joe Biden are absolutely destroying Donald Trump and the RNC. And that's obviously what happens when you hire your daughter-in-law, who has zero experience, and she's releasing new music for some bizarre reason. And
she's not even like the head of the RNC, whatever. Like, she's not the head of it. So it's funny because they keep saying, why is everyone talking to Laura Trump when she is not even the head? She's like the second in charge or something like that.
yeah, well, I mean, because she is the
Right.
figurehead, she's
Yeah,
the
I
one who
know.
goes on TV.
I
And,
know.
she probably is the boss over the person who is.
Maybe they just wanted to act like she wasn't in charge and wasn't going to be giving Trump all that money. It's somebody else in charge. I don't touch the money.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, at the end of the day, like I said, right now, Biden is way, I mean, he had one fundraiser that raised, I think it was $25 million. That's what Trump raised the whole month of February. So he did it in one night. So
came out
that's
with some
good.
ads too. His ads have been on fire. Like,
they really have. They
Yeah.
have been doing a great job of their digital campaign, which is probably what they need to focus on as much as possible, because there's already going to be a ton of disinformation out on social media, and especially when you have people like Elon Musk, who is intent on also destroying this country, allowing for all this bullshit to happen. It's just, I don't get it.